Hokey Religions and Ancient Weapons.
Welcome to Hokey Religion, the Star Wars podcast. This is Tyler.
This is Michael.
And let's talk about Star Wars.
Hooray!
Hokey Religions and Ancient Weapons are no match for a good blaster at your side.
All right. So, Force Friday happened this past week.
It did.
It was fun.
Did you go?
I did. I went to a Toys R Us Thursday night at about 11 o'clock. There were 10 people in line. I was number 11. By
there were
midnight.
People in line?
Yes. There were already 10 people there.
Wow.
I was number 11. By midnight, there were at least 50 people.
Holy crap.
There was only one child.
That's perfect.
The rest were adults. There was only one kid, and he was pretty far back, and sadly, I don't even know if he got anything, because...
I bet he was the second person in line's kid. And then you just got... Sorry, son.
Yeah.
You got out of the car late.
Yep.
You're in the back.
That's what I would do. No, there were so many people in front of him, I don't even know if he got anything, probably.
Oh.
Because everyone, I mean, they had severely limited stock. There were maybe 2 to 3, maybe 4 of each item.
I heard that was kind of a problem across the board.
Yeah. My plan was just to get a First Order Stormtrooper and a Kylo Ren of the Black Series, the 6-inch ones. I walked straight there. There was only 2 Kylo Ren left, and I was 11th person, like I was behind. I probably passed a few people on my way over there, so there was less than 10 people over by the Black Series figures. There was probably only 2 Kylos left and like 2 Stormtroopers, and I grabbed one of them.
So did this work like that game show where people show up with the shopping cart?
Supermarket Sweep?
Yes.
Yes. My
So
sister and I used to watch that all the time.
So was it like that where you were given a certain amount of time and you just had to go back there and get as much as you could in like 15 seconds?
A lot of people were like that. They were just like scraping the whole racks of like action figures into their hands. But yeah, everything was gone. Like by the time I grabbed those 2 figures, there were, and turned around and turned back just to see what it looked like, there were no Black Series figures left.
Wow. But seriously, how did it work? I mean, there was a line.
There was a line,
and we just all let in there at the same time.
Everyone was actually super cool about it. We just walked in, like no one started running.
Okay.
We all just walked over there, but they
said, if it was Walmart, there probably would have been.
Well, because they never closed, you would already be just standing inside, like shaking the Walmart employee to open the packages. They let us in super, everyone just walked. They were super cool. They said, no more than 50 people at a time, but there were only like 50 people in line, so it didn't matter.
Oh, okay.
And then the first 50 people to check out got the exclusive Toys R Us poster, which was a really sweet Kylo Ren poster, which I'll tweet a picture of it later. It's really cool.
It was one of 3 limited edition posters for Force Friday.
And it's not cheap. It's not like a cheap one either. It's very clean looking, and it's actually like on thickish paper, so it's not like that paper thin, crappy posters.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
Sweet.
But it was fun. I've been to a couple other stores after that. I went Friday morning or afternoon to a store, to a Target. They were already like out of basically everything.
Wow.
Went to a Target again on Saturday to see if they'd restocked. They were out of everything again.
Yeah.
And then I was at one today, and there's still like nothing.
Yeah.
Just Legos. Legos is the only thing I'm seeing around, and pretty much left over.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of the Legos, the Poe Dameron X-Wing Lego kit looks really sweet.
Yeah, it does.
There's a couple miscellaneous kits, like they've got a troop transport.
Yeah.
I think there's like a battle action kit with a couple new stormtroopers.
There's Rey's speeder.
Yeah, Rey's speeder.
Everywhere I've gone, they just have tons of those.
Kylo's shuttle. That's an awesome kit.
Yeah, that looks cool.
That looks really neat. And a handful of other things. I can't remember what they were.
Yeah.
But yeah, I missed Force Friday. I was able to check out Downtown Disney, which had a few exclusive stuff. I got a Special Ops TIE Fighter, a die-cast TIE Fighter. That thing's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's cool.
And then today I picked up some Snap-Tight models.
Yep, you got me one.
Yeah.
The Special Ops TIE Fighter. And these are cool models. I mean, they're Snap-Tights, so they're not like really nice as far as you don't paint or glue them or anything like that. They're already pre-detailed. You just snap them together. But I've not seen this before with Snap-Tights, because I used to have Snap-Tights when I was a little kid. But these actually have lights and stuff with a little battery pack for it. So like the engines light up and stuff like that, which is really cool.
Yeah, I got the Falcon one, and Has a bunch of, Falcon sounds, and the whole engine array in the back lights up blue. It's really sweet.
That's cool. Yeah, and you got me like I said, the TIE Fighter, and I have yet to put that together, but I'll probably do that tomorrow.
Were there... I'm looking around here. It looks like there were Snap-Tight models for some of the Clone Wars stuff.
Really? I don't remember.
I'm trying to find if there were Snap-Tight models for the old, like 90s, merch.
I have two that I've not put together in a closet.
Really?
Here in the office. I've got...
From 90s?
Like, these are ones that are going to need to be painted.
From 90s?
Yes, from 90s.
From the time...
In the year 90. In the 90s, yes, I have a speeder bike, the indoor speeder bike.
Yeah.
I've got one of those, but you have to paint it, and then I actually have a Death Star as well.
Nice.
Which I guess doesn't require too much painting because it's already gray. Just add some black details and some line work.
Yeah, these new ones didn't require any painting. They're already...
Yeah, these are just the Snap-Tight ones. The other ones I had were like the level 2 or 3 or whatever, where you have to paint everything and glue it.
Okay.
The Snap-Tight ones are nice just to snap together. Easy to do with your kid.
The authentic models.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an Arc Starfighter one that was released from the Clone Wars a couple of years ago. Yeah, I'm trying to find... I'm sure...
There's got to be.
Old ones, yeah. I don't know, but I thought these were like coming back from, way back and when they first released the movies. But yeah, I guess there have been some since then.
Cool.
But yeah, those are sweet. Like I said, I missed the midnight thing.
Yeah. Which Disney was charging $50 a person for a ticket.
Yeah, I saw that.
Do all this, to go to their store for the midnight release, and then like 5 hours before midnight, they're like, never mind. It's free for everyone to come now.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
That day, earlier that afternoon, Disney was like, never mind. Everyone that paid for tickets will get a refund. Anyone can come for the midnight
Holy
thing.
Crap. I would have gone.
Sorry. Should have checked your phone.
Oh, man.
So yeah, they like decided that day, like, oh, we're going to make tons of money off of all this. Why are we charging people even more just to come buy stuff?
Wow.
Which, yeah, I thought that was... It was cool of them at the time. It was never cool of them to charge, but it was good that they realized that and stopped charging $50 for a ticket to come and buy merchandise from them when people were going to come and buy merchandise from them no matter what.
Right. That is good that they stopped doing that, but when I heard that they were charging, I was just kind of like, yeah.
That's Disney.
Yeah. I just accepted it.
That makes sense. And you didn't get anything for it either. You were just paying $50 for a ticket to be able to get in the store to buy the stuff.
Right.
Which, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's
but yeah,
crazy.
So that was cool of them.
Yeah, I totally... the store... there's 2 stores at Downtown Disney. The first main, big Disney store that has all of their merchandise, for everything.
The giant toy box store or whatever it's called.
Well, no, that's the second one. The first one is the big, long one that has
everything.
Just everything you can think of Disney related. And that one had a little section devoted to Star Wars. Had some, kind of cool stuff.
Yeah.
But nothing really special. Nothing you can't get anywhere else.
Okay.
But then the second store, they basically wiped out a whole room and a half of stuff. And it's just all new Star Wars stuff now.
That's cool.
Tons of stuff. They normally have a lightsaber constructing area.
Yeah,
that was there.
Lightsaber.
It's that room, that big room. If you're familiar with Downtown Disney,
that is a big room.
That whole room. I think most of it was Marvel stuff before this.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but yeah, they had all kinds of really cool stuff in there.
Nice.
Not a lot of exclusive stuff, but. Just tons of stock.
Disney itself has a couple exclusive things you can't get anywhere but Disney stores, which is the Elite series figures, which are die cast.
Oh yeah.
Which those look really nice. They're about 6 inches as well. I
didn't see any of those.
They're like the Black Series, but they're fully metal die cast. Which, I mean, they look really detailed and really nice, but they're a little more expensive because they're full metal.
Action figures.
Yeah, they're the size of the Black Series.
Nice.
And then they have some, I guess. Like the TIE Fighter you got.
Right.
Those diecast.
Right. Yeah.
Bigger than like the Black Series diecast ones, about double that size.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of those before. I saw those today. They're
the smaller ones.
Yeah, they're probably like 3 inches tall, wide.
Yeah, they're like the Black Series diecast ships.
Yeah, but
like
these are
3-pack.
slightly bigger, 5-6 inches, something like that. Yeah, they're pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then, so with all the new toys, we got a couple cool things. But before we get into that, I think we were going to retcon our previous episode.
Yes, this is our Ewok eyelids.
Yes, this is the segment we're going to call Ewok eyelids, where we go back and fix something that we thought was broken.
I love that name.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so the first thing I wanted to mention was I very incorrectly said that we were talking about skin stretching, and then I brought up the Star Trek movie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I said it was Star Trek First Contact. It's actually Star Trek
idea.
Insurrection.
I didn't see either, so
okay. I've seen all of them, so I should have known.
Someone cares, and they're very happy that you corrected that.
So I'm sorry, one person who was very mad at me.
Mr.
Or girl.
Mr. Internet.
Let's not be sexist.
Or Mrs. Internet.
It could be a girl. Yeah, Star Trek Insurrection.
Right.
And so I have a few fun facts about Star Trek Insurrection here.
Always good for the Star Wars podcast.
I also have a little note here that says I couldn't remember how we got on that subject.
Skin stretching?
Yeah, it was Lobot.
It was definitely Lobot, yeah.
We mentioned how...
If he aged?
Yeah. And we could just, stretch his skin. Go back and listen to the first episode.
Yeah, skin stretching. It's riveting stuff.
It's a good
Please
one.
go back.
That's a good one. So, fun facts here. Tom Morello was in. Tom Morello of Rage Against the Machine fame.
Really?
Played an uncredited officer in Star Trek Insurrection.
Was he just a big Star Trek nerd, or was he like looking for money and he needed a job, so he went to get
I have no
random...
idea. He wasn't credited, so I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
Strange. It was one of the aliens. The skin stretching. Skin scratching.
Scratching?
Arnold Schwarzenegger was considered as the lead alien.
Really?
For a bit. For that movie. Yeah.
Interesting.
And I made a little joke here about how he would have no makeup required.
That's mean.
It's funny.
But it's true.
Yep. So that's been our... Oh, no, sorry. That was just the Star Trek note. I have many more notes here.
Oh, great. What else did we need to fix that we thought was broken?
As someone on Twitter mentioned, a good friend of mine mentioned, D23 is a ticketed event. So you can buy a ticket and get into it. We weren't aware of that.
Wherever you buy those from, I'll have to find out.
Yeah, I don't know.
No idea.
I went looking on the Expo site for more information about D23, and it's all about the current one.
Yeah.
I was able to find out that it's a biannual event, which is interesting.
Okay, I thought it was only every summer.
It says on their site it's biannual.
Interesting.
Which would mean 6 months from now is going to be February. So we're going to have, if this is true, we're going to have another one in February after the movie comes out.
Interesting. Okay.
So maybe more information about Rogue One, Episode 8, who knows?
Yeah,
so
it's cool.
That's interesting. The beast that we were talking about in the very beginning of the episode, the beast with the big metal thing on his head.
Yes, we found out today what that's called.
Yes, it's called a Lugga beast.
A Lugga beast.
Yeah.
And the little dude that is riding it, his name was Tebow?
Tito.
Tebow. Not Tebow, not the football player. The Tito.
Yes.
Like the like Jackson, Tito Jackson.
Tito, right? Yeah, sure.
Oh. Teedo.
Tito Jackson. Tito. Yes. Yeah, the beast is played by Tito Jackson. And he's a cyborg, apparently, which was kind of cool.
The Lugga beast?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a partially mechanical beast.
Right. Partially, yeah.
Yeah, is what the data bank on StarWars.com said.
So that was interesting. We were talking about this before we started recording, but those droids, the Grievous's guards, are called Magna Guards.
Magna Guards.
Wasn't aware of that before. And they're created by HoloWin Labs, who are the same people who made the IG-88.
Okay, nice.
Robot.
That makes sense.
The assassin droids.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So the same, like, AI and everything, I guess, was in those
From the assassin droids we saw in the Clone Wars series.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
And we were talking about Colin Trevorrow for a bit. As we all know,
he's directing episode 8.
Episode 9.
9.
Yeah. We said Ryan Wilson was directing episode 8.
Ryan Johnson is directing episode 8.
So, yeah, Colin Trevorrow, we were trying to remember some movies he did. He did a great movie called Safety Not Guaranteed.
Okay, that's right, yeah.
With Aubrey Plaza and Mark Duplass from the lead.
That's right.
Really good movie. It's about a guy who's seeking a companion. He puts a classified ad in the paper about seeking a companion for time travel.
That's on my Netflix queue and has been for a long time, and I keep meaning to watch it because I keep hearing it's amazing.
It's a really good movie. Yeah, I recommend that anyone interested in checking out Colin Trevorrow should check that out. It's very good.
Cool.
It's weird to hear that he's going to be doing a huge sci-fi movie like this.
Yeah.
I mean, he was given Jurassic World, which, from what I heard, was kind of okay.
I've heard it's a very fun movie.
That's not really a good thing to...
I've heard if you're looking for like a really good Jurassic Park movie, it's not the greatest, but I've heard it's super fun, whether the story's dumb or not. But it's not like he's writing episode 9 by himself, right?
I would hope not.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can expect there to be someone Star Wars related to be like...
Oh, how was Jurassic Park? Oh, it was fun. It was a fun movie. Just high fives all around.
I don't know. I mean... If it was well done enough. I mean, if the story was the problem, I doubt that was Colin's. That was Colin's work. That
Probably
was the
not.
story. So, yeah. I mean, if the movie was directed well and it was fun to watch, at least he can make a movie good.
Sure. I guess I'm just saying.
If he can make a movie that is badly written, fun to watch, then at least he should be a pretty good director.
Right. Yeah, I'm just saying it's going to be kind of hard to judge what this is going to be like. I mean, obviously with JJ, we've got tons of
lots
great
of stuff from JJ.
blockbuster movies, under his belt. But yeah, Colin, I'm really not sure.
Yeah, and then even Ryan Johnson, we have lots of stuff from him, like Looper. And
a handful of really good movies.
Yeah, all of his movies I've loved, and then his episodes of Breaking Bad that we mentioned were some of the better episodes.
Right. Yep. So that has been our segment called Ewok Eyelids.
All right, Ewok Eyelids, where we fix something that didn't need to be fixed, but we thought was broken anyways. So, back to Force Friday. We got some new characters out of some toys that were found that probably shouldn't have been found.
These weren't toys that were actually released on shelves, were they?
Yes, these were found. So there's the Black Series action figures. The 6-inch action figures are released in waves, usually waves of 4 or 5.
Okay.
Wave 1, which was coming out on Force Friday, was Kylo Ren, Finn in Jakku clothing, Rey in Jakku clothing, the Stormtrooper. Wave 2, as far as we know, is supposed to be Phasma. I believe a Flame Trooper. Constable Zuvio is one of them.
Okay, yeah.
And this other guy that we have not seen, but someone found as well, called a Guavian Enforcer.
Interesting.
So people did find... and Poe. Poe was part of Wave 2.
Okay.
People found some Phasmas out there, which are now going for a lot of money online because you shouldn't have been able to find them yet. I think people got a couple Poes, and then I've only seen one confirmed finding of the Guavian Enforcer, which I can tweet a picture of this as well. But
was it overseas somewhere or in America?
I believe it was in America. Okay. He just found it behind a row of the toys. He just found one back there, which we hadn't heard this name before. We hadn't seen a picture of this thing before.
Right.
It's basically it's got a red and black outfit on, fully covered face, almost like a hood, like mask, almost like Deadpool. It's red and black. I mean, the way the mask looks, it looks like it very well could be of a droid type, like the assassin droids.
Okay, interesting.
Like from the Clone Wars series.
Were the arms and legs kind of droid looking or human looking?
Not really. It looked like somebody, almost like a Deadpool type costume with the black and red,
so some
full body suit with the full hood, mask on as well.
So some kind of guard I guess.
Guavian Enforcer, whatever. I mean...
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, who knows? It looks really cool.
Sweet.
And then, of course, we've seen Poe and Phasma before, but they were out there in the wild. A couple of them. Shouldn't have been at this point, but it sounds like they got accidentally put in a box when they shipped out.
Dang.
Sweet. We saw there were a couple of 3.75-inch regular action figures of like side characters that we really have no idea what they are, but they looked more resistance related, different alien creatures that don't really seem to be of too big of importance that we know of.
Any species that we already know about that have been kind of around Star Wars for a while?
I mean, obviously we don't know what species they are just from looking at the action figure, but it didn't look like anything I'd seen before.
Okay.
And then a name I'd seen in an action figure list, not one that got released yet, but I found out is actually mentioned in the new Leia focused book, which was called... it's totally slipping my mind right now.
I don't know.
There were a bunch of books put out, the main one being
Who cares?
Aftermath, which is the full novel. Then there were 3 character-focused books put out, which one for Han, one for Luke, and one for Leia. This droid's mentioned in the Leia book, and actually has a databank entry on StarWars.com. The droid's called PZ4CO. PZ is the nickname. It's a feminine programmed droid. It looks really weird. Like, it's really tall. The head kind of reminds me of the battle droids a little bit, but like bigger.
Was this an action figure that someone found?
It's listed in the action figure lists.
But no images.
We haven't seen an action figure of it yet. We did see an image, I guess, from the Leia book of what it looks like.
Gotcha.
But it's supposed to be like a droid that works on resistance, like tactical information and like tactical.
Okay.
When they do tactical like attacks and things like that, it heads up some of that. So that's interesting.
Sweet.
Just more stuff we hadn't heard of.
Okay.
And then on Force Friday, they announced, as far as C-3PO goes, his red arm that we still know nothing about. They're putting off a Marvel, one-off, I think maybe 3 or 4 issue, close to the release of the movie. I think it was listed for December. It may just be a one-off one issue, but supposedly it's going to show how he got the red arm prior to the movie coming out. So...
Interesting.
We'll finally know what that's about, because it still doesn't make any sense to me why he would have a red arm.
Yeah, the only thing that I could, I guess at was the Resistance is strapped for cash, or whoever...
They can't make a gold arm.
I guess.
They can't gold plate anything. He's so old at this point, they can't find other parts. That's the only one they could get.
Maybe that's it. Yeah, maybe his model is just so old. They've just kept him around.
Because it's been 30 years since Jedi.
I never thought about that.
And then Anakin was in his upper 20s.
R2 and C-3PO have been around since before the Clone Wars.
Well, yeah, Anakin made C-3PO in episode 1, and
R2 was around even before that.
And Anakin was almost 30 at the end of episode 3, something like that. He was upper 20s.
Yeah, something.
Upper 20s. So C-3PO is probably about 60 years old, and then R2 is probably even older than him.
Well... 3PO is... so Anakin was probably...
He was like 10, right?
How old was he when he died?
Well, died,
50,
turned into Vader.
40?
Who? Oh, when he died?
When Vader died, yeah. Anakin.
Probably. I think around that age. He
he's got to be
way worse than that,
at least 60 years old. Maybe more.
Yeah, and then R2 was working fine back in the clone, before
he was just
episode 1.
He was just an R2 droid.
They got caught up in episode 1, basically.
On Amidala's ship.
Yeah,
so he's probably I guess a Naboo droid. I don't know.
So yeah, he's probably older than 3PO at this point.
Yeah, I never thought.
But
about that.
I don't know.
They have been around for a while.
I don't understand the red arm, but at least we'll find out, and it not just be like something that exists that we don't get explained at any point.
Yeah. Well, obviously they did it for. It's got to be there for a reason.
There's a reason.
You wouldn't just swap out...
I can't imagine it's a super important reason, but it looks cool, I guess.
You wouldn't just swap out something like that for no reason, I don't think.
No, yeah. Unless it does something, maybe it's like an Iron Man arm.
Something went down.
It has weaponry in it. It's his Iron Man arm. He's got a blast.
It's his go-go gadget arm? Is that what you're saying?
Sure. Yeah.
His little springs pop out.
More than just a protocol droid now.
His water skis come out of that shoulder.
Yeah, so that was, I mean, we didn't get much out of Force Friday other than just some character stuff due to, people finding other things, but still no trailer, sadly. I don't know what they're waiting for. There's no movies coming out for it to be attached to, no Marvel movies, no big Disney movies anytime soon.
I think they're just going to drop it. Just
drop
randomly.
It on some date. I mean,
who knows?
It can't be after October. It has to happen by mid-October. I don't see you being able to wait until the month before the movie comes out.
Maybe November?
That'd be Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
But that's less than a month before the movie comes out.
I mean, Thanksgiving.
I mean, they don't need the press, or they don't need the extra bump to get viewers to come see it. The people that are going to go see it already are going to go see it.
I don't know. I really don't know.
I really want it. I'm tired of waiting for a trailer instead of all these teasers. The last thing we got was a couple second Instagram teaser.
Yeah.
I want an actual trailer with actual dialogue. Speaking of dialogue, that's what we got out of Force Friday.
Oh, yeah, right.
We have two talking dolls, if you want to call them action figures, the big ones.
Dolls, how dare you?
They're action figures. We got a talking Kylo Ren and a talking Finn. I have an audio clip here of Kylo Ren talking, so we'll listen to that real quick.
I've been waiting for this day for a long time. Is it true? You're just a scavenger. Don't be afraid. I feel it too. You know what I've come for. Don't fight it. You know you can't. I'm immune to the light. That weapon is mine. Together, we will destroy the Resistance and the Last Jedi.
And that voice is awesome.
Yeah.
The modulation on that, very Darth Vader-esque.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know he's a fanboy of Vader. So even though he doesn't need the modulation probably for any reason, because we've seen pictures of him with the helmet off.
Right. It's
just trying to be like Darth Vader.
The first thing that I noticed was it was less theatric. It was more like very subdued almost, you know? Not coming from someone who's used to being in power. That's what kind of struck me.
It's almost like he needs that to sound more menacing, probably.
Yeah, I don't know.
And if you saw, and we did get from Toys as well, we have a shot of his helmet without the hood on. The back of it has that tiny slope at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
It looks
very
Nazi.
Vader.
Very Nazi, but very Vader-esque with that slope on the back of it, but just minimalized.
Yeah. I was looking at, when I was down at stores looking at stuff, they had big, half my size.
Like the 4 foot tall ones?
Yeah, those things are really sweet. But they had a First Order trooper and Kylo.
Yeah.
And you could take his hood off and, and I was looking at his helmet and stuff. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it does. So yeah, that voice is really cool. We have, we finally have some dialogue from him. I'm guessing these are quotes from the movie because, it's an action figure talking.
Right.
Whether that's actually Adam Driver straight quotes from the movie or somebody else recorded these for an action figure, who knows? But I doubt they're lines that aren't from the movie.
Right.
So we definitely got some cool stuff, especially the one where he said, "Together we will destroy the Resistance and the Last Jedi."
Yeah.
Who's he talking to?
Right.
Is that scene we've seen from the last teaser where Finn is standing there looking scared out of his mind with the blue lightsaber? Is he trying to convince him? Who's he trying to convince? It sounded too menacing for him to just be discussing it with Snoke or discussing it with Phasma. It was definitely trying to convince somebody to come to the dark side type.
Right. Yeah.
Thing.
He was talking
like
to
Vader talking to Luke and Bespin.
Right. Yeah. We'll talk about more.
That's interesting.
We'll
get into that. Kylo more.
Yeah, because I want to talk more about the whole First Order origins and Resistance and all that stuff. We'll talk about that in another episode.
Yeah, we'll get there probably next episode. But we also have a Finn voice now for the Finn action figure, so I've got an audio for that as well. So we'll listen to that real quick.
The name's Finn, and I'm in charge now. We go back to Jakku, we die. Stay low and put up the shields. We need cover, quick. FN 2187. I don't know what to do. I never should have rescued you. Listen, I've had a pretty messed up day.
All right, he is American.
Yeah.
I guess it shouldn't come as a surprise because the The Empire was always the British guys. The British, sounded more, I guess, official and kind of scarier because of that. And then the Rebellion was all American, Han, Luke, Leia, everyone, whiny American Luke. We've got the good guys were always American voiced, but John Boyega has such a great accent. I never really thought of him being American in the movie. I've always just pictured him as having that accent, especially since we know he was a stormtrooper. At some point, we believe he's a stormtrooper because he crashes a tie and has a stormtrooper outfit on. Like, he was part of this First Order, so I would have expected him to still have the British accent coming from that.
I guess if you go by what, kind of traditions or whatever, stormtroopers have always had kind of American accents. And the officers and higher-ups had, like, the British menacing accents. So, I don't know. It kind of matches up with that.
Just the fact that he is British and has that great British accent, I really expected him to still have that coming from the First Order, and then...
Well, not a classical...
It doesn't sound right knowing John Boyega.
Right. Not a classical British accent, like a...
No, not like
not Yabo.
Not like that. Not like his character in Attack the Block, where he's saying bruv.
That's what I'm thinking of.
He's like bruv and all that stuff, but not even like the super fancy British like Tarkin and all of them. But I expected his accent to stay at least
just British,
a little bit regular British. But we've got an American Finn, which will be interesting. Which makes me think, is Rey gonna have an American accent, because she has an even stronger accent than Boyega does, I think. At least
it's pretty close. It's
pretty
very
close. Hers
British.
is a little more like country British to me. Like, it's a little bit thicker, a little more twang to it. British twang, I don't know, but
British twang.
Like, she sounds way more
British have twang.
It's like a strong. Yeah, I mean, it depends on the accent. Like, if you've heard people like Adele talk, like, Adele can sing beautifully and it sounds great, but when she talks, like, she's like super like British. She's even like that, got that like slang stuff. But like Daisy Ridley is, John Boyega's very British, but he's
that's just like a Cockney accent.
Yeah, hers is more of like, almost like country-ish, like, quote, not American country, because we think of horrible country music and that twang, but like the British version of country.
Right.
Her accent's just a little stronger to me. So we'll see if she's American accented or not. If she doesn't have an American accent, she cannot be related to any character we know.
There's something out there. She hasn't talked yet.
We haven't heard. I mean, we don't have a trailer. We haven't heard any dialogue except for these two things now. Yeah, these two characters.
Yeah, true.
Well, there was that thing that got leaked online and was like pulled the instant it was put online. It was a video from Abu Dhabi when they were in that market area. And
I didn't see that. I thought you were talking about the Korean trailer.
No, I didn't get to see it either because it was pulled almost instantly and like no one had it afterwards. I can't find it anymore.
Interesting.
But it was like they were shooting a scene. Maybe it was just a scene test in the marketplace where like they're running.
Yeah.
But from what I read, Boyega and Daisy Ridley both said something in the, like, they each had one single line, just like one or two words. But people were saying they had the accents in that video. So it may have just been like a scene test, just like for, getting the color and the shot right.
Yeah, maybe.
But but that leads to kind of where we were going now that we've heard those, which are awesome. Speaking of Daisy Ridley and Rey, if she has her British accent, she can't be related to anyone that we already know of as characters, as far as Leia, Han, Luke. There's no reason for her to have a British accent if she's related or one of their children.
Well, I guess that's up for debate.
Really?
Because, we don't have...
Well, if your parents are American and just raise you as
No,
that, you're not going to suddenly have an accent.
No, not that part. I'm saying, we haven't heard her yet, so she could have an American accent in the movie. We don't know that yet. We don't know. But I'm saying if we get a trailer or get anything with Rey lines and she does not have an American accent, she cannot be a relation of one of the original trilogy characters. I really don't want to let go of that theory.
That she's somebody's daughter?
Right, because I don't
either, but...
I was texting you earlier that I'm becoming more and more convinced that she is related to Leia.
Well, that's what I've said since the very first time I saw her. She looks... Daisy Ridley as a person has the facial features and qualities of both Carrie Fisher, a young Carrie Fisher, and Padme Amidala, the actress's name.
What, Natalie Portman?
Thank
Really?
you. Yes, Natalie Portman. Her name slipped my mind. But yeah, she looks like both of them when they were younger in the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
Like she looks like she could be directly related to both of them.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've always thought from the very beginning that she has to be Han and Leia's daughter.
Mm.
But if she has a British accent, she can't be.
know.
But at the same time, like we got Kylo Ren's voice, and we'll obviously go way more into him. But that voice, though modulated, did it sound very British?
No.
I didn't think so either.
No. So.
Which, that'll be interesting. Because where our theory goes with that is, I know we both want her to be related, like be Han and Leia's
right.
Daughter. But we also really liked our theory we discussed in the first episode of Kylo Ren being Han and Leia's son.
Right. So
What
is there
if-
a relation
What
there?
if they are brother and sister? I mean, she looks... I don't know, you can't really tell what her age, I guess, is supposed to be in the movies. But from Adam Driver, I don't think they could be twins. Like, age different wise, like, he looks older to me, but maybe not.
Well, we haven't seen his face.
Well, we've seen his face in pictures. There's some promotional stuff that was in magazines.
Without his mask?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Is it just normal? No makeup?
He
or
has his
anything?
full outfit. No, it was like a fully like shot from one of the scenes or whatever, but just him with his full outfit, but just not with the hood, not with the mask on.
Was it like a behind the scenes shot, or was it?
It was one of those like put together shots for, it was either the Entertainment Weekly article they did, or it was Empire magazine. I can't remember which one.
I didn't know either of those released to Kylo Ren.
Yeah, there's an image of him in the outfit without the hood and mask, with his black hair and super white British face. But I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting if they were twins, if they kept the twins thing from the EU of them having twins.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not Jason and Jaina.
Adam Driver's not British.
He's
Do you know that?
he's been in British shows though, right? Right? Isn't that what
no.
what shows? Wasn't he from a British show?
What?
Was he on? Was it Girls? I think.
Is that a British show?
I don't know.
No. He was what?
I know he's
him.
not British. I've just heard him. I think I've seen him do British stuff.
I know him from the Coen Brothers movie, Inside
I guess
Llewyn
so.
Davis. He played this character that was like a backup singer. He's not in it for very long, but he's really funny.
But
in
again,
that.
I just assume
he was in Lincoln.
I assume he's going to be British because of the whole Empire British bad guys being British type thing. I mean, Anakin wasn't really.
Yeah.
So
I guess we could get into that later because
Yeah.
there's a bunch of stuff.
But I'm
to
just
talk
saying
about
the
there.
Kylo Ren voice didn't sound very British. Modulated, of course, but not very British.
No.
So
No.
if he and Rey are brother and sister and she doesn't have an accent,
I don't know.
if she doesn't have an accent when we ever hear her speak, if she is American accented, I would love for them to be brother and sister.
That would be yes.
And
That would
for-
be awesome.
And for there to be this, juxtaposition of the two siblings.
Something I noticed in the very first picture of the entire cast that was released when they were doing the table read,
Okay, yeah.
long time ago.
Yeah, it was like that
Months.
black and white photo with like the first time they all got together.
Yeah.
And we're in that big room with the couches and stuff.
It was the first time the cast was announced,
Yeah.
like a while ago before all this stuff. If you look at it, Daisy Ridley is sitting right next to Leia and Han, in between them. Leia and Han.
Interesting.
Carrie Fisher and
Yeah.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Um,
Interesting.
and is chatting up Leia. Or Carrie Fisher. Jeez. In the picture.
Okay.
And if you kind of look around, people who are, you would assume would be kind of related in the story are sort of sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
Like, well, I guess,
But we also have to assume they're sitting with people that they probably have more lines to go over with as well, which we know Daisy Ridley is with Harrison Ford a lot because we've seen them with the Falcon and stuff like that.
yeah,
A lot of pictures we've seen with Rey and Finn, with Han and Chewie on the Falcon.
right. John Boyega wasn't near Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher, though. He was somewhere else.
Well, he's definitely not their kid.
No, well,
Yeah.
I think we can assume that at this point.
Probably assume that since, he's a First Order Stormtrooper.
Yes, that's why.
That's why, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. There was another point I had. I can't remember what it was now about Rey and Leia, but
But I don't know if we mentioned this last time too with Rey about her staff. Did we talk about that in the first episode?
Briefly, yeah.
Okay.
So
famously, Darth Plagueis had a staff lightsaber. He had a staff with a lightsaber on the end. It was one of those longer,
which is canon.
Still,
I think.
Well, Darth Plagueis as a character is canon. I don't know if his staff lightsaber is canon or not. Not sure about that.
I'm not sure.
But we've seen her staff, which one end of it very much looks like it could be a lightsaber hilt portion.
Yeah.
Or it could be one of those vibro blades, whatever they're called. The ones that Grievous's guards use.
It's one of those fleshlight blades.
Yep, that's the one. No, the ones that aren't lightsabers, but I guess like the assassin droids and things like that have them. They aren't lightsabers, but
electro
electro blades, whatever.
blade staffs.
I mean,
whatever.
I guess it could be one of those, but
the ones
again,
the Magna Guards
yeah
have. Yeah.
So it could be one of those, but once again, if Rey and Kylo are brother and sister and are Han and Leia's kids, they could have both been trained by Luke, and that could be a lightsaber staff.
Maybe. One thing you
Pretty
can
sweet.
say, well, no, that doesn't work. I was gonna say, one thing you can say is, if Finn was trained by Luke, you see in the thing that was released on Instagram, where you see him with Anakin's lightsaber.
He doesn't
Luke's
look
lightsaber.
very confident with it to me.
I don't know. I disagree. I think he has a very strong lightsaber form where he's like holding
Maybe.
it up. He looks scared out of his mind, sure,
yeah.
but he's got that. Did you ever play Jedi Academy or Jedi Outcast?
Yeah.
You know how there were 3 forms that you
Yeah.
could choose from if you leveled up far enough?
Yeah, I mean, in the nerd world, there are lightsaber forms, and everyone knows what the forms
The
that
nerd
different.
world.
Like people know what.
This should be us. We should know this information.
That's
Once
for-
again,
that's for
we're
other
sitting
people.
here
Yeah.
with the info.
I'm not
with
that
nothing
detailed.
to give
I love
you.
Star Wars, but I'm not that.
I just want
detailed
to
into
apologize
it.
to
Yeah.
everyone listening that
We're
once
Star
again,
Wars nerds, but we're not those Star Wars nerds. Which nothing bad about that. I've never gotten that deep and detailed into stuff that wasn't in canon items and media that was put out.
Well, I am.
Maybe.
Except I don't know this
Yeah,
information.
but like people know what like Obi-Wan's
sorry,
form
everyone.
was. People know what different Jedi's forms were. So there are different forms.
There
but
are
he
many
definitely
different
had
forms.
that up high.
Yeah, it was so in Jedi Academy, that up high form was like the power form.
Yeah.
Where you could, your swings were super powerful. It was a
Yeah.
little slower. You couldn't, do as many crazy things, but it was a strong.
Yeah.
A lot of Sith in the game use that
Yeah.
form. So not saying that he's a Sith. I'm just
No.
saying it's a
It's a more
lightsaber
powerful
form. Yeah, that had to be taught.
It's a more powerful stance. Yeah.
So whether that's a coincidence because he's just scared and is trying to look powerful, or he was actually trained, I really don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, I still don't think
But-
we're going to see Luke in the first episode movie enough to have him train Finn before he fights anyone with that.
I don't know. I mean,
But of course, that scene that we saw in the teaser could be like the last thing we see in the movie, and then like before they fight, it cuts to black or something. But
oh god, that'd be so frustrating.
right, like that super cliffhanger of a lightsaber battle.
That would be so
I doubt that's going to
frustrating.
happen. But
I really hope Luke isn't treated like. Well, I guess Yoda's not mentioned at all in A New Hope.
no,
I'm just saying, I hope Luke isn't kind of delayed until 8.
yeah, I mean, like
Where
I
he
think we
becomes
mentioned
like
this in
the
we mentioned
Yoda.
this in the first episode. I think there will be references to him, but I don't think he'll be very highly involved in the movie until the end.
I
If
really
he's
don't
introduced
know.
at all
I
until
really
the very
don't know.
end.
Because looking at just past movies, since, all that was canon has been destroyed,
Yeah,
the movies are pretty much all we have to go on so far.
yeah, movies, comics, and new books.
Right, new stuff. The only kind of mentor Jedis that we've seen, at least in the original trilogy, were Obi-Wan and Yoda.
Yeah.
Yoda didn't show up until the second,
Mhm.
until the 5th movie to kind of finish Luke's training, and Obi-Wan kind of gave him that very
Yeah.
introductory kind of training in 4.
Yeah,
So I'm trying to figure out whether Luke is going to be an Obi-Wan or a Yoda
yeah.
in this new trilogy. I really hope he's going to be
Well, we saw that
kind
picture
of a
of his
combination-
outfit too, which
he
very
was-
Obi-Wan, very
Right.
like regal Jedi.
Right. But I kind of hope he's a combination of the two and is more present.
Maybe.
I mean, you're saying he's not going to be present.
I don't think he's going to be present in the first movie. I think Finn, I mean, obviously we know they have the lightsaber and he has the lightsaber, and he may just still have the lightsaber with them and be like, you know, pretending like, hey, I'm going to fight you, I know how to use this type thing.
Sure.
And then that could be like where we see Han die, which I still think is going to happen, where he like, Han intervenes and then gets killed.
I think that's going to happen too.
Yeah, but I
at
think
some point.
that could be the scene where like Han tries to intervene.
Maybe
and
not
then he
there,
doesn't get to
but-
actually fight with the lightsaber at that point.
Maybe it won't happen there, but
At some
At
point,
some
I think
point
he
in the
will.
movie,
But
yeah.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I don't know if that fight's actually going to happen because I don't think there's going to be enough time to go through a training montage of Boyega
yeah.
or Finn. But I mean,
don't
I
know.
hope
I can't decide.
I hope Luke's going to be a little bit in it. I don't want them to just like start off the bat. I think there needs to be some mystery to Luke, to lead to Luke. I don't think
Sure.
I don't think he just needs to be, hey, oh, you have my lightsaber. All right, let's train. Like, I
Right.
don't think he should be right up front, but there should be some mystery leading into it.
Because he is still the last Jedi
Yeah.
at this point. At least for this movie. I mean, you know, maybe Finn will be trained up. Maybe we'll see some other Force-sensitive people
Yeah. And if the theory I want to
later
be
on.
exists, I hope he has trained Kylo in some way, and Kylo going to the dark side is what led to Luke maybe becoming that more mysterious, backing off. Because I think because Luke, I mean, I guess we had this in the previous canon, in the EU. Luke tried to train people. He didn't know what he was doing. He didn't feel confident about training people because he was never fully trained.
Yeah.
And he kind of backed away from it.
And that's actually... So I've been reading Heir to the Jedi.
Yeah.
Who wrote that? Kevin Anderson? No, that wasn't Kevin Anderson.
I can't remember who wrote that one, but that's the one that happens in between. Is that New Hope and
Yeah, in
Empire?
between A New Hope and Empire. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's actually a decent book.
I've heard it's a slow read, but I've heard it's pretty good.
Kevin Hearn.
Okay.
Sorry, not Kevin Anderson. So yeah, I've been reading that, and there's this theme going through it of Luke just being not I mean, it was between A New Hope and Empire, so it was kind
Yeah.
of before Luke
Before Yoda.
saw Yoda and
Yeah.
kind of had more training, but he's not very confident.
Yeah.
He fails a lot in using the
Mhm.
Force. Like, he tries to use the Force, tries to copy Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
and just fails several times. So, but I think at this point, he is going to be more confident. He's going to have all these years of just kind of meditating, you know, being.
I don't know,
one with
but
the
I
Force.
want that mystery of, you know, Finn coming with the lightsaber and him and Luke being like distant. Like, I don't want to get into this again. Like, I don't trust myself enough to teach you because of what happened with Kylo type thing. Like, I kind of want that. Like, there needs to be a draw for him to have to teach Finn.
Maybe.
Like, Finn has to almost prove himself to make Luke come back to do that.
Yeah. I think
Because again, I don't want Luke to just be like, "Oh, hey, my lightsaber. Oh, hey, you feel the Force? All right, let's go."
well,
Like,
no, yeah, that would be a bad story. I hope
yeah,
it's not
yeah. I mean,
that.
I think there needs to be that mystery of getting Luke back into the game of teaching somebody.
Right.
I don't want us to just like Finn show up with Han and Chewie, fly to wherever the Resistance is, and like, oh, here's Luke's school for the gifted. Like,
Right.
I don't want like him to be Professor Xavier and already have a school of Jedi that are like being taught already, like him being brought in like Rogue and X-Men.
Oh man, that'd be so bad.
It'd be really bad. I don't want that. Like, I don't want him, like, us to just show up to his school and him being wearing the right white and tan robes and be like, "Oh, welcome, welcome, child."
Well, I mean, everything that has happened so far, all the leaks, you know,
Yeah.
quote unquote, and the stuff that's been revealed.
Yeah, we
Luke
still
hasn't-
we have nothing of Luke other
Yeah,
than that
right.
leaked image of him in the robes.
Yes, and well, this hasn't been confirmed to be Luke, but the scene in the teaser with the robot hand,
Yeah, the
Placed
like
on
bionic
R2.
hand that goes on R2, and R2's light goes from like blue to red. Maybe.
I'm pretty sure that's Luke.
Why would Luke not have his skin-looking hand and have like a full robot hand now?
Who knows? I don't know. I mean, his hand was
Or
shot.
they can't replace the C-3PO's hand either, so something happens to Luke, so they
Maybe.
gotta give him just a robot hand now too. Like, they're really strapped for cash.
They put Luke's
Fighting the Empire really took it out of him. There's just no money left.
They put Luke's skin on 3PO.
3PO has Luke's arm instead. And Luke has the gold arm.
If 3PO had skin put on him, would he look like Anthony Daniels?
I would hope so.
Oh, man. This would be
Just like
interesting.
Lobot.
And we're back to Lobot.
Everything loops back to Lobot.
What was I going to say? Oh, in Jedi, Luke's hand got shot in Jedi. So,
Yeah,
if you remember,
I guess, yeah.
when he goes back to Yoda, he's putting the glove on and it shows the burn.
Yeah, he
mark
has
in
the
his
black
hand.
glove on.
Yeah,
for
so
most of that.
maybe the skin fell off. I don't know.
It was too much to upkeep the skin, the fake skin.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So for the time being, we did find out today. Today is September the 8th.
What have we learned, Tyler?
We have learned.
What have we learned today?
We have learned nothing. We have learned about the film being released. It's not being released worldwide on December 18th. There are different release dates that we've heard of now.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, so prepare to go dark. Don't enter the internet for a couple days because it's showing first. As far as we know right now, it's showing first in France, December 16th. It's showing in England, December 17th. And then it's showing in the US, the 18th.
Right.
So that's...
And we were talking today,
most people will probably be in line to see it on the 17th that evening, midnight release for the 18th.
or morning for some of us more dedicated fans.
Well, obviously, we'll probably be at that theater all day on the 17th. But that at least gives you, at least a day or two of having to not go where you usually go to look up Star Wars information.
Yeah.
Not going on Twitter, not going on Reddit, because there's going to be probably screenshots. There's going to be people saying stuff about it.
Tons
So
of crap.
there's going to be a few days where you're just not going to have to think about it.
You know what we should do? We should record something from the line.
From the line? Oh, we could do that. We'll figure out a way to do that.
That'd be great.
It may be a crappy phone recording, but we can do it.
Maybe during the movie.
I'm not. If you talk to me during the movie, I will murder you. I'm
Tyler, I'd like to
a
get
lot
your
of people-
reactions on the scene.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of lightsabers there, and I'm sure you're just going to get the crap beat out of you with all these Force Effects lightsabers.
I'm here at the new Star Trek movie.
If you don't want to see it on opening day, that's fine, because they will tear you to pieces, and you won't get to watch it because your retinas will be bleeding. And I'm not going to help you because I want to watch it. So you stay on the floor and bleed out. I'm going to watch the movie. So yeah, we're going to obviously... I'm planning on taking off the 17th so that we can be wherever the movie is, be there most of that day to make sure there's not a line. If there is, that we're that line.
Probably in a movie theater. That's probably what we'll be.
Yeah. We're going to go see it at the IMAX because we know there's at least a few main shot in IMAX scenes.
Yes, we should mention that there's going to be an IMAX takeover, basically.
Disney money, man.
For, was it like a month or something?
I think a whole month where the only thing showing on almost all IMAX screens is going to be The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
There were actually some movies that were scheduled to be showing in IMAX during that month that have gotten pushed a month later.
That's so cool.
That's Disney money. They really do what they want. You can't tell them no because there is no limit to what they will pay you to get what they want. So yeah, there's an IMAX takeover, and we already knew there's a couple scenes at least shot in IMAX. So I'm definitely going to see it in IMAX for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Because IMAX is always worth it.
Yep.
I hope it's not only IMAX 3D though. I'm okay with 3D. It doesn't make me sick. I just don't care for it. But I hope it's not only IMAX 3D.
Well, it's not being shot in 3D, so it's going to be a post
I know
conversion to 3D, which
I don't want to
really
see
don't
it
want
for
to
the
see.
first time in 3D, but
No.
I want to see it for the first time in IMAX. So what if the only
Definitely.
showing is IMAX 3D?
That'd be terrible.
I'm going to
that's
see it
not the case.
multiple times no matter what.
Yeah.
That's obvious. But, I don't know. I'll see it in IMAX no matter what because I want to see those IMAX scenes.
Right.
So yeah, we'll be in line all day that 17th and
Yep.
see it that evening and
Did
maybe
you
record something from the line.
Did you see that the only other movie being released on the same day is a Tina Fey, Amy Poehler comedy?
Yeah. Obviously I enjoy both of their stuff, but I think the crowd that movie would be going for is probably a lot different of a crowd than Star Wars is going for.
I just think it's really ballsy to release.
it is ballsy, but I think they know
No one's going to
that-
see it opening day.
There's the sex. I'm not saying girls don't like Star Wars, but I think there is the sexist thing too. They'd be like, oh, all the kids and husbands will be going to see Star Wars. We will get all the daughters and wives to come see our girl comedy movie, maybe.
I don't think the makers of that movie, I think they're pretty self-aware. They know what's...
Yeah, they know what's going on, but I think that
Just
does.
seems like
I think
a
it
bad
does have
decision.
I think there's not a giant crossover between the audience that might go see that over Star Wars.
No, I don't know. I just thought it was funny
That's pretty funny. Yeah, there's
that they would have the
reason to
balls to
release
go up
anything
against
else that month.
I mean, this is going to be one of the biggest movie releases.
Well, like they're already saying,
ever.
it's looking like it's going to make almost double what Jurassic World made, and Jurassic World has it was like 220 something million, right? And that was the record so far for opening, and they're expecting Star Wars to make over 500 million opening weekend.
Buttloads of money.
Oh yeah, and not to mention Disney merchandise.
Just buttloads.
Yeah. All right, well I think that's it for this week. So this was Tyler.
This is Michael.
Have a good one.
Hokey religions and ancient weapons. Hokey religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster at your side.